Good morning, dear students. How are you? Hope all are safe. Okay, so I welcome you to our next session of our class. What were we discussing in the last session? Yes, heterotrophic mode of nutrition in non-green plants. Right. Are you studying it? I know you are very good students and you are studying it. Okay. So in the last class we discussed one type of heterotrophic mode of nutrition. What was that? Yes, it was saprotrophic mode of nutrition. And we discussed what is it, its definition and its example. Right. Today we are going to deal two more heterotrophic mode of nutrition and they include parasitic nutrition. The first we learned was saprotrophic. Second is parasitic mode of nutrition. Many of us may know the term what is parasite, right? So with the help of an example we can come to this nutrition. The example is Cuscuta. How we can pronounce it? Cuscuta. Okay, so let's have a glance over what is Cuscuta, how Cuscuta looks like. So Cuscuta is a non-green plant. It's a non-green plant. It does not have what? Chlorophyll. If it does not have chlorophyll, what is the significance? It cannot make food, isn't it? Photosynthesis cannot be performed since there is no chlorophyll. Okay, so it's a non-green plant. They don't have chlorophyll, so they can't make food. So they are yellow, long, thread-like structures or thread-like plants, and they are seen in a twining manner over another plant. They usually twines on the body of another plant. Twine means they will be like in a tied manner. Okay, so they are a yellowish long thread-like plant which twines around the body of another plant. So another plant is present here, isn't it? So Cuscuta is an example of parasitic nutrition. Now how Cuscuta derives its nutrients, why it is known as parasite? Cuscuta, with the help of a special structure called haustoria. What it is known as? Haustoria. Write and study the spelling, otherwise you would go for mistakes. So don't make mistakes. Write and study, and the pronunciation is haustoria. So with the help of this special structure haustoria, they would pierce into the plant body and absorb the ready-made nutrients from this plant. This is how Cuscuta is getting the nutrition. Clear? That is why they are known as parasite. So from this example, can we define parasitic nutrition? So parasitic nutrition is defined as the mode of nutrition in which one plant lives in or on the body of another plant and absorb the ready-made nutrients from that plant. Clear? One plant lives in or on the body of another plant and absorb the ready-made nutrients, and such mode of nutrition is known as parasitic nutrition. Clear? So that's all about the definition. Now we are going to see two terms in this parasitic nutrition. We came to know that in parasitic nutrition, a parasite is there, isn't it? Parasite is there. Parasite is the organism or any organism. It can be plant or it can be animal. So typically we can term it as organism. Parasites are the organism which lives in or on the body of another organism and they absorb the food from that another organism. Another term is host. Host is the organism from which the parasite obtain food. Host is the organism from which the parasite obtain food. So let me ask you, have you heard of bedbug, mosquito? You might have heard, you might have not. You already know what is mosquito. Then head lice, leech. Have you heard of all these things? Are they parasite? Are they are also known for parasitic mode of nutrition? Check it out and draw your, that means write your conclusion in your notebook as an assignment. Okay, one thing I will explain. Head lice. What do you mean by head lice? I will tell the term in Malayalam, pan. Okay, head lice is pan. Is a parasite. How it is performing as a parasite? How it is termed as parasite? Head lice. It is present over the head and that is termed as a parasite. And if the head lice is present in over my head, then me will be the host for that head lice. Head lice takes the absorbed nutrients from me. So I will be the host and the head lice is the parasite. Clear? So I hope you are clear with what is parasite and what is host. Check with this bedbug, mosquito and leech whether they are parasites. If they are parasite, how they form the term parasite or what make them parasite. Okay. So that's a small assignment for you. Will you do it now? Okay. I know you will do it. Okay. So these are the two terms we discussed, parasite and host. Next thing we are going to see, parasite are of two types. They include total parasite and partial parasite. Total parasites are those parasites which completely depends upon the host organisms for their food and other purpose. Okay, example, Cuscuta. Okay, we have discussed how Cuscuta is depending upon the host plant. Partial parasites, as the name suggests, are those parasites which depends partially on the host organism. How it is depending upon the host organism partially? Let's come with an example. Example is mistletoe. Mistletoe. Here T is silent. Okay. Mistletoe. Mistletoe is green in color or it have green leaves. So green leaves indicate that it can prepare food by the process of, yes, photosynthesis. So then for what purpose they are depending for the host? They can prepare food but they depend upon the host for water and minerals. Clear? So they depend upon the host for water and minerals. They can prepare food but water and minerals they have to prepare, they have to depend for the host. Clear? So we discuss what is parasitic nutrition, its definition, example, two terms and two types with example. Okay, I will send you the notes. Study it carefully. These and all are new terms, Cuscuta, mistletoe, hostoria and so write and study to avoid your confusions. Okay, so we can move to the next topic. So we are going to see the next type of nutrition seen in plants. So that is symbiosis. How it is pronounced? Symbiosis. Okay. Again we can come to know more about symbiosis with the help of an example, that is lichen. Lichen. You can pronounce it on either as lichens also, but I pronounce it as lichen. Okay, lichen. So lichen is an amazing form of life. How it is forming an amazing form of life? It is a combination of two different types of organisms. Two different types of organism. What are the two different types of organism which together form lichen? They coin algae and fungi. Algae and fungi together form lichen. Okay, you have seen algae, right? What is algae? In the pond and all, or in stagnant waters and all, we could see algae. What is the color of algae? They are green in color, isn't it? Since they are green in color, they can prepare, yes, they can prepare food, isn't it? So algae are the portion of the lichen which prepare food with the help of photosynthesis process. Okay. So what is the role of fungi? Fungi provide protection, shelter. Okay. They provide protection and also water and minerals. See, we have discussed water and minerals are the essential requirements for photosynthesis, right? Without water and minerals, plants cannot prepare food. So, fungi provide this water and minerals to prepare food by the algae. Clear? So, both are having an understanding, isn't it? If algae is not there, fungi cannot stand. If fungi is not there, algae will not live. So both should be there. So they are in a mutual association, isn't it? They are mutually associated. So they live together, work together to have a what? Mutual benefit. Both are benefited. Right. Both are benefited. Clear? So, these terms should be there while we define symbiosis. So, by culminating these two words, how we can define symbiosis? Symbiosis, it is a mutual association between two different types of organisms which live together, work together for the mutual benefit. Clear? It's a mutual association between two different types of organisms which live together and work together for the mutual benefit. I hope it's clear to you. What is mutual association? What is mutual benefit between two different types of organisms? That coins the term symbiosis. Clear? Let us look upon one more example. Lichen is one example for this symbiotic nutrition or symbiosis. Both are same. Symbiotic nutrition and symbiosis. Another example we can see with rhizobium. You are familiar with this term, right? Where we can see this rhizobium in the soil. Sometimes these rhizobium are seen over the roots of leguminous plant. Roots of leguminous plant. Who are leguminous plant? Pea plant, gram plants, grams and all includes under leguminous plants. Clear? So this rhizobium are seen over the roots of these leguminous plants and they form the root nodules. Root nodules. So in the root nodules of leguminous plant there is the rhizobium bacteria. So what does the rhizobium bacteria do? Rhizobium bacteria, they will convert the atmospheric nitrogen to nitrates, isn't it? These nitrates are easily absorbed by the plants, isn't it? Nitrogen in the form of nitrates only plant can absorb. So this is done by the rhizobium. So this is benefited for the plant. So in return plant what does the plant offer to them? Yes, plant offers some shelter, protection. Plants give the shelter or protection for the rhizobium bacteria in the root. Clear? So rhizobium bacteria offer nitrate to plants. In return, plants offer the what? Protection to the rhizobium bacteria. So both are benefited. Rhizobium bacteria is also benefited. Plants are also benefited. That is also an example for symbiosis. So today we discuss only two types of nutrition. Parasitic mode of nutrition and also symbiosis, and we discuss the variety of examples. Read it carefully today itself, okay? Then only you will come more clear to the topic, okay? Still you are finding any doubt regarding today's class, you can contact me, okay? You call me personally, I will clear for you, okay? So stay safe. And today I am winding today's class, and always be safe and be happy. Thank you. Have a nice day.